The Tamil Tigers are on the run. Earlier today, Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa officially declared that the key town of KILLINOCCHI had been captured by the Sri Lankan army from the Tamil Tigers. And then he went on to issue an ultimatum. He said to the Tamil Tigers, this is your last chance to surrender. In the middle of all this, what we do know is that LT Chief Prabhakaran is on the run, and in another related development about 6 o'clock this evening India time, the LTT carried out a suicide bomb attack in which three people were killed. That's outside the Sri Lankan Air Force headquarters. Now, what are the implications of this? A country so close to India, and if this situation reaches a point where the Tigers are smashed, what does it mean for us? Several points of view to look at. Well, let's introduce our guests from Sri Lanka. We have live from Colombo, Jeehan Pereira on the top right of your screen, Director of the National Peace Council of Sri Lanka. On the bottom right of your screen is K. Venkatara, Deputy Political Editor of the Times of India in Chennai. On the bottom left is General Kalkatt, former IPKF chief, knows the Tamil Tigers like the back of his hand. And Dr. Subramanian Swamy, so well versed with this entire matter, also with us from New Delhi. Thank you very much, gentlemen, all of you, for coming in. Now, let me begin by asking you, General Kalkatt, first. If the Tamil Tigers are smashed, what happens? What happens next? What happens to an army that is smashed, has no land left to operate out of?
Tamil Tigers is not an army, it's a guerrilla force. And I do not see it being smashed merely by the fall of KILLINOCCHI. It is a political significance but not a military significance. The ultimate battle for the control of the northern province will be fought in the jungles of Vani.
Okay. Let me come to you, Jeehan Pereira. Is that also your assessment, that this is towards the end game, but it's not the end game for the Tamil Tigers?
It is a very important victory for the government, both psychologically and militarily. Militarily, because it enables the government to have greater access to other parts of LTT controlled territory. But I do agree that the conflict is likely to now see a change from being a conventional war to being a guerrilla and terrorist war, because that has been the original nature of the LTTE.
Right, Dr. Swamy, let me bring you in. If the LTTE is in the kind of position that the Sri Lankan government is claiming, how much support can they really expect from India? From the various sections that are known to be pro-LTTE.
As far as the LTTE is concerned, they cannot expect any support from India.
No, I meant the various
but they, of course, there will always be clandestine support from parts of Tamil Nadu.
That's exactly what I meant, Dr. Swamy.
The fact of the matter is that the LTT today has lost its reputation with the loss of KILLINOCCHI. They have now gone from a de facto state to a stateless actor in the Sri Lankan scene, and to that extent the Sri Lankan government deserves to be congratulated.
Well, Venkat, now you'd remember that on the 29th of December, there was a lot of equipment that was being sent. So I think from Rameshwaram to the Tamil Tigers. This included satellite phones, ammonium nitrate to be used in explosive. It seemed a last-minute desperate attempt to help the Tigers. Now my question is, who is helping them? Who is helping them, and how are they operating so openly?
Well, some clandestine forces have been operating all the time, but I don't think the LTT is greatly dependent on Tamil Nadu for most of its supplies, because its armaments come from other nations. Probably they need, additional supplies in the form as explosive substances, some sort of ball bearings, gensets, fuel, medicines and clothing. But, the substantial portion of their warfare equipment, I still think they do not depend much on Tamil Nadu, even though they do maintain a sort of supply line.
Yeah. General Kalkatt, in your view, the big question, where is Prabhakaran?
Prabhakaran would be somewhere south of Mullaitivu, more towards the Niti Kaikulam area. If you recall, when we were there, the final battle to wrest control of the northern province was fought at Niti Kaikulam, after which I was able to announce that we were ready for the elections. And that is the area which he will be operating in. It also gives him access by the sea on the east coast to hop from one place to the other.
Jeehan Pereira, staying with Prabhakaran, is he an aging warhorse now? What is the reason he's facing such reverses right now?
Well, I think one major reason is that he's facing in the Sri Lankan government and the Sri Lankan president a very resolute leadership that is prepared to expend any amount of soldiers and resources to overpower the LTT. And since Prabhakaran has been fighting a conventional war, the conventional superiority and firepower of the Sri Lankans has been too much for him.
Know that there are several people who are soft on the LTT in your state of Tamil Nadu. Now, how does the government reconcile this fast-changing situation in Sri Lanka with known sympathies that people have in Tamil Nadu, political parties towards the Tamil Tigers?
Well, first of all, the overwhelming majority of the Tamil people have no respect for Prabhakaran or the LTT, and certainly after the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi, there's just simply no sympathy at all, and one can see this in all these stage-managed meetings that some of the sympathizers have done. The fact of the matter is that the LTT did finance a lot of political activities in Tamil Nadu, and those people are now orphaned by the diminishing strength of the LTT. Now, I don't think that it has any effect at all in India. The only thing that we have to take precaution is that the Sri Lankan government keeps to its commitment made to the various leaders of the world that after the military solution, they will follow with the political solution, which is devolve the constitutional powers to enable the Tamils to have some local freedom to run their own affairs. That is the key thing which will prevent future terrorism from taking place in Sri Lanka.
Right. Jeehan, Pereira, I want to talk to you about this man, Rajapakse, who's carried out this big offensive. So many of our other panelists also said he's the man. He's gone all out after them, prepared to take losses. What really is the basis for this push that he has? I mean, why have Sri Lankan leaders before him not pushed as hard, or have they?
Well, one reason could be that President Rajapaksa feels that his electoral base is entirely Sinhalese, and he has to keep the Sinhalese with him if he is to remain in power. I think he feels that the ethnic minorities will not vote for him, and therefore he has to keep the Sinhalese with him. And nationalism, the motherland, terrorism, LTT are the key words that he has been able to put before the people to sustain their support for him, despite so many other problems such as high inflation, a lot of corruption, and clashes between the judiciary and the executive. But the support for the government and the president remains high among the ethnic majority Sinhalese because of the war.
Right, but he's shown a tremendous decisiveness in all of this. In case you're watching this right now, the big global story, in fact, happening right near our southern tip, where in Sri Lanka, the Tamil Tigers have been pushed like never before, losing their northern headquarters of Kilinochchi and being pushed further from there.
General Kalkatt, for somebody who understands the workings of the Tamil Tigers so well, in your assessment, are we expecting more retaliatory strikes from the LTTE now?
Yes, I agree with you, Maruf. You may expect them hitting soft targets. Now they will revert back to their original kind of warfare, that is guerrilla warfare and terrorist attacks on soft targets, on civilian population. And obviously they had thought that they were never a state actor, though they had assigned to themselves the trappings of a state actor and like a regular force, and that is why they lost, because they cannot fight a regular force. And of course, this loss is going to set them back politically. At the same time, the morale of the Sri Lankan forces is going to be high, and they are going to face a very tough situation.
Okay.
But nevertheless, the difficult part is ahead. When the air power cannot be used in the jungles, the tanks cannot go there, the artillery fire is not effective, and it has got to be the soldier on the foot who is going to seek out and destroy them. But it can be done, but it will be a very slow process.
Okay, Venkat, before I wrap up, I remember very clearly, I'm sure you remember too,
Yes.
that in Tamil Nadu,
Yes.
a lot of leaders were asking for humanitarian assistance to be sent to Sri Lanka. Now, is this going to increase right now? Will a lot of Tamil Nadu parties be asking for greater humanitarian assistance to be sent to Sri Lanka? And if that were to happen, should we allow it?
Yes, I suppose so, because the civilian consequences of this war are really great. More than 200,000 people have been internally displaced in the last 6 months or so. And, the call for a ceasefire, I expect it to intensify, because, the fall of Kilinochchi represents a sort of decisive moment, or at least gives an appearance of being a very decisive point in the military history of this current conflict. So I expect that now that you have reached a point, you have captured Kilinochchi, now why don't you halt the war and begin a political process? This line of thinking is likely to come up in Tamil Nadu in the next few days. And humanitarian assistance, of course, I don't think anyone here grudges that sort of assistance. But the modalities will have to be, the one round of assistance that went, I doubt if even that has been effectively distributed already. Okay. So, these are logistic constraints, but politically the demand will remain.
Okay. Venkat, General Kalkatt, Jeehan, Pereira and Subramanian Swamy. Thank you very much on that big story of the day.